Hi everybody, how are you? We've been working on a plant shelf these last few days. It looks incredible. If you want to learn how we did it, stay tuned. We'll explain it step by step. The first stage of this project was designing and posing it in 3D. Here is where we gave it the real dimensions and the needed changes to make this project a reality. For this, we got great support from the list of the needed pieces, which was the hardest part of this project. It consisted of breaking the project into pieces. For this project, we selected pine lumber. Now get ready to spend some time marking and cutting each piece of lumber. I must warn you that this process could take some time, around 2 hours or so, since our project includes large amounts of pieces. But believe me when I say that the time invested is totally worth it. So grab your measuring tape, a pencil, and a saw, because we are about to get busy. Start by carefully measuring and marking your lumber according to the specified dimensions of your piece list. At this stage, precision is key for success. So take your time and verify your measurements to guarantee a perfect fit. Once you've marked your wood, it's time to use your trusty handsaw and start cutting. Now, you may have many pieces to cut depending on the complexity of the project. This step might take some time. Don't worry, enjoy the process and remember that good things do come to those who await. When navigating through the process of cutting, pay attention to the details of your pine lumber. Carefully follow your cutting marks to make sure you make clean and precise cuts. This will contribute to the overall aesthetic and functionality of your project. Once you finish marking and cutting all your lumber, it's time to prepare them for the exciting step of assembling your project. At this stage, you will need a trusted drill and a perfectly sized bit to guarantee that the screws fit comfortably and safely. For this stage of assembling, we recommend starting with the bottom frame or floor base as a first step. This will serve as a base for your project, so take your time and make sure everything is aligned correctly. With the bottom frame done, it's time to move on to the next step, building the base grill. When it comes to assembling this grill, it's crucial to distribute all the pieces evenly within the frame. Allow me to explain step by step what has to get done. The first step is to grab all the lumber that will be placed inside the frame. It's important to distribute them evenly to accomplish a balanced and symmetrical effect. Now we will mark the center of each lumber in the overall frame. Grab a pencil and carefully mark the frame where you will place all of your lumber. This will serve as a reference point to drill through all of your pieces. The next step is to grab your drill and select the right bit and start making holes on each one of them. Afterwards, grab your 2.5-inch screw and you will screw each one of them. We will move on to the next step of our project, getting ready for mounting action. This time, we will address the main frames that will form the 4 bases of our shelf. This is how we will do it. First, take a moment to review the design of the project and get familiar with the assembly process. This way, you'll have a clear understanding of how these frames should come together. Understand the sequence and order, and this will make your work much easier. Start at the higher frame until reaching the lowest one. Take the necessary pieces and align them according to the project. Make sure everything is in order before you continue. As we did a step earlier, you will need to mark and drill holes into each frame. Grab your pencil and mark the wood where you will drill these holes. Take your time and make sure those marks are as precise as possible. Next, grab your drill and the right bead and place your drill on the mark and start drilling. For this process, use the 1.5-inch screws to set the pieces. Congratulations, you're halfway there. Now, let's move on to the next stage of our project's process. We will prepare the small lumber that we will use for the grills on each base. This is what you will need to do. To make everything easier, we suggest you assemble several pieces of pine lumber and work with groups of 3. This will save you some time and make your process agile. So gather your lumber and let's get started. Grab your grill and the right beads and keep it simple this time. Your main task is to drill all the necessary holes in all of your lumber. The next step is mounting the grill to the highest frame of your project. This is how we will do it. To begin, gather 5 pieces of lumber that will assemble the grill. It's fundamental to distribute them evenly to accomplish a balanced and symmetrical effect. We want this grill to be functional and aesthetically pleasing. Now that you have brought the lumber together with the base of the shelf, take your time placing each piece carefully. Make sure they are aligned with the marks inside the frame or base. Verifying twice is crucial for a solid and visually appealing result. Then we will get 2 frames that we already have assembled and we will assign them to the main frame, exactly the same as in this video. Make sure you fit them very well so the top of the shelf is as solid as possible. Now let's concentrate on the grilling at the second level. The process is very similar to what we did before. You will gather all the needed pieces and you will place them evenly, making sure all the lumber is perfectly aligned with the marks within the frame or base. The next stage of the project will be very familiar to you. We will bring together the smallest frames with the bigger frames, and each level will have its own grill. Similar to before, we will use 5 pieces of pine lumber placed evenly. As before, make sure all of these pieces are perfectly aligned with the marks within the frame. And it's only about screwing each piece until the process is complete. We finally reached the last step. We're going to secure the frames we have assembled to the frames on the floor. This is how we're going to do it. To guarantee a solid connection, we will use the 2.5-inch screws at a 90-degree angle. This angle will provide the necessary strength and stability. Now, to reinforce the structure, we'll flip the project over, exposing the bottom of the lumber. We will screw together all the pieces that are in contact with the base from below. This extra step will make your shelf extra strong to support any weight you place on it. Congratulations, your plant shelf is finished. How do you feel about this? Personally, we all enjoyed this process. Each stage of the process has been totally worth it. You can decorate it with small plants like we did, or you can even place bigger ones. If you want to build this project and have your own plant shelf, you can find it at craftyamigo.com. This is where I found the blueprints to create this plant shelf, and we highly recommend it. Thank you for viewing the entire video, so don't forget to follow and leave a comment. Take care.